Hi, I'm Liam Conway, one of the co-founders at Greenfields Energy Group. This morning, we've been featured in the Times alongside one of our energy partners, the Confederation of British Metal Forming, and one of our clients, Footprint Sheffield, talking about the significant impact to them and indeed to every business across the UK about impending non-commodity electricity cost increases over the next couple of months. Now, often in the media, we hear about the commodity element of electricity and gas, but this specifically relates to non-commodity costs. So typically that's around distribution costs, transmission costs, taxes, levies, etc. And there are some absolutely phenomenal changes over the next couple of months. The largest of those is from April 2026, where businesses will be faced with much higher transmission costs. Now, for most businesses, they will see that impact in their standing charge. And it is not going to be uncommon to see businesses face 100% cost increase on their standing charges. This will vary client by client, depending on whether you're a low voltage or a high voltage half-hourly supply. It will also depend on whether you're on a pass-through contract, where you will see these costs immediately at the point at which they come into force, or you might be on a fixed contract where suppliers might actually be opening up those contracts mid-term because the size of the increases are so significant that they have to do that. Either way, the costs are going to impact you at some point, and I would strongly recommend that you get to understand what the impact is and you do an impact assessment of what that cost looks like for you as a business so that you can plan effectively for it, and perhaps ahead of time think about how you're going to try and mitigate some of those costs. One thing to consider is that the more meters you have, the more you will be impacted by this, given it's on your standing charge. There are two other impacts as well. From October, so only in a week or two's time, something called BSUoS is going to be increasing, which is the balancing costs across the UK. Again, if you're on a pass-through contract, you'll see that impact you sooner rather than later. If you're not, when you're going back out to market, you're likely to see higher unit rate costs. And then finally, we have a new tax kicking in from November, something called Nuclear RAB, which is the fund size well C. That has been set at 0.3455 pence per kilowatt hour. And again, you're going to see that kicking in your contract. So there are three things that are changing quite significantly. And I think it's very, very important for all businesses to understand the impact of those and the cost model for that. We're going to be quite vocal about this, and we support 5 national trade bodies focusing predominantly on the manufacturing sector. We're going to be involved with some lobbying and some shouting about this stuff because the cost impact is so significant that it can't just be brushed under the carpet. And as I say, reach out. We're happy to have a conversation with people. Some of it's going to be educating businesses about the impact. But the sooner you get a handle on it, the sooner you can effectively plan for it.